Before returning to sustainable development in the United States, it is essential to understand what is perhaps its most important dimension, the consensus process. Using the consensus process, an initiator carefully selects members from the group to participate in the decision-making committee. The decision-making committee never votes. Consensus is the process through which objections to a proposal are extinguished. This process will be explored in more detail as sustainable development is unfolded. The essential point is the difference between the consensus process and a democratic process. Compare decision-making in a free society. Using the democratic process in a free society, the affected group elects representatives. The representatives debate and then vote. The affected group then abides by the decisions. If the affected group is dissatisfied with the decisions, they can elect new representatives to reflect their wishes. Using the consensus process, the affected group has little or no voice in choosing the decision makers. Hundreds of NGOs were funded to launch the visioning process in cities and towns and communities across the country. Typically, an NGO, or sometimes an agency of local government, will begin the visioning process by carefully selecting representatives from various stakeholder groups to serve as the visioning committee or council. Those chosen to serve on this council are usually well vetted and known to support the goals of sustainable development. The visioning process consists of a series of meetings in which a trained facilitator leads the group of stakeholder representatives to suggest goals for the community that will create the best possible future. These suggestions are typically written on a chalkboard and then organized into categories. Since Agenda 21's 40 chapters and the hundreds of policy recommendations from the PCSD cover virtually every aspect of human existence, the Visioning Council's ideas are easily organized into categories addressed by sustainable development documents. Once the goals are identified and organized, the next step is to develop consensus. Consensus is not agreement. Consensus is the absence of expressed opposition. For example, a typical goal might be to preserve open space. The facilitator does not ask the group to agree because it may provoke questions. How much open space? Where would it be? How would it be acquired? Instead, the facilitator asks for no response. He might say, does anyone think we should not preserve open space? Anyone who answers yes to this question would look ridiculous and would be marginalized. This is the purpose of asking negative response questions. It eliminates opposition. Once the goals have been identified and organized and opposition eliminated, the document becomes the Your Town Vision for 2020. The vision becomes the agenda for the next phase of the process, the development of Your Town's 2020 Action Plan. Usually, the group will be divided into committees to figure out how to achieve the goals within the purview of each stakeholder's area of interest. A well-trained facilitator already knows where to find the answers to all the how-to questions. Agenda 21 and the PCSD's Sustainable America.